How's it going, guys? We are going to be looking at the Poison Necro today. So, I still am missing an infinity, which is what takes this build
Good afternoon.
from good to great. But what I am currently using, and a lot of it is still the same as what I was using for the Summon Necro build. But we swapped out the boots for some res boots instead of the war traps. We have a FCR ring because we're going to want a good amount of that, and the lightning resist makes up a missing part from me switching to the Death's Web instead of the Hoto, which adds poison skill damage and drops enemy poison resistance. Of course, the poison skill damage comes from the facet that's in it. And with all of those other changes, I was able to manage to get the Scolders on instead of the Smoke and still have resistances maxed. And then I have Poison and Bone skills amulet with some resistances on it. Everything else is still the same, the Homunculus with the the Shaco with the We are using Poison and Bone skill GCs instead of the Summon GCs, of course. Still have our spare resistance small charms and our torch. Now, stat-wise, you don't need a whole lot of strength. I just put enough in that I could wear the Scolders, but you can also go cheaper option like Smoke, which you would only need about 50 strength or so for, depending on what you use as the base. Now I got the Trang's gloves on as well, which increases poison skill damage a bit more and gives us some more FCR. We didn't really need the cold resist, as you can see. We could take it off and we're still maxed. Where is it? There it is. And for our skills, we have one into all of these as follows: Ray Skeleton, Skeleton Mastery, Clay Golem, Blood Golem, Iron Golem, Golem Mastery, and Summon Resist. Now, same thing with the previous Summoner build, we are using the Iron Golem for our meditation. But he's not nearly as tanky as he was before. And the skeletons that we have, they're super squishy, but they're still a good buffer between you and your enemy. Curses. We put one into each, all the way down to lower resist. Lower resist is going to be super nice. We hit him with the lower resist, then the Poison Nova, and then the amp damage when one thing dies, and then Corpse Explosion will take out the rest of any packs that you run into. And for our Poison and Bone tree, our main skill is Poison Nova, which you can see Poison Dagger and Explosion are synergies. So we have Poison Nova maxed out, Poison Explosion, and Poison Dagger. We have 1 point into Bone Armor, 1 point into Bone Wall, 1 point into Teeth because it's a prerequisite, and we are working on maxing out our Corpse Explosion. That way one body covers the whole screen in its radius. Now, this isn't a very budget build because Death's Web is definitely expensive. Everything else is relatively affordable for the starter portion of this. My Merc is still the same as it was before. Let me just go revive him.
Yes?
Still the same as before with the G-face, the Duress, and the Obedience, so that he's a little crushing blow machine, the little engine that could. And our main farming place for this build, we're going to go to the Outer Cloister and backtrack Poison Bones. Now, even without lower resistance, it still just shreds all the black rogues and everything. But we are going to backtrack over to the pit, where there is no poison immunes. Now, normally you'd want an Enigma for this build. I don't have one. Now you can see all these guys are poison resistant. Here just give us a bit more breathing room. Now, you'll see if it catches lower resist, it drops the resist so they can actually be poisoned. And then we would normally follow that up if there's still a pack stand. with our amp damage and our force explosion, which, as you saw, did reach all the way over there. Now the pit is a level 85 area. We are just doing some hunting. There it is. You're going to find yourself refreshing your bone armor very often. So, Fallen I don't bother, Devilkin I don't bother using lower resist. These guys in here aren't poison resistant. Lower resist, poison, and just watch stuff drop. So we're missing some of our bone armor, so we're going to recast. See stuff just melts, and this is an 85 area, so you can get all the way up to your jaws and burrs and all the good stuff from. Of course, the RNG gods have to bless you, but now, having played with this build a decent amount, I do have to say I prefer the Summon Necro for softcore or hardcore quite a bit better. It is much safer, and you can farm more areas without having to worry. But you can see that even with minimal effort, we're still just cruising right through here like it's nothing. Large shield isn't going to be worth it, but we'll get it anyways. And you can see it covers just the whole area as far as the curse goes. It's got a nice 14.6 radius, which means it covers the equivalent of the screen. And we are going to just keep whipping through here. Now, I haven't tried Bone Necro yet, but that is going to be my next project. And to find out which build is best for hardcore. Untwinned, that is, where you don't have GG here. If I had an Infinity, this build would rock everywhere. But with that being said, I mean, that's the same for most builds that are elemental if you have an Infinity. But that takes 2 burrs, so quite expensive. And that's the pit. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and have yourself a wonderful day.